You guys are going above and beyond, and I think you're one of the best developers in the indie scene right now.
Thank you very much. That's very nice to hear.
Hello there, my name is Brandon, and today I'm talking with one of the developers of Flinthook and other games.
Flinthook is an action platformer with a grappling hook mechanic that is a whole lot of fun because grappling hooks are synonymous with action and adventure. And it's also a roguelite, so you play a space pirate who raids pirate ships, but because of the roguelite elements, the ships are never the same twice. All the rooms are handmade, but they're randomly assembled together.
Not only do I already love this game because I've played a ton of it, but I love this guy. He starts without his name. He just goes right into how important this game is. Tell me about yourself a little bit.
My name is Flinthook now, but
your name is Flinthook.
It used to be Yannick Belzil. In fact, it still is, and I'm the writer on Flinthook. So I co-created the world and the characters and all that nice stuff with the artists.
Now, one of the things I love about watching indie games over in the PAX East scene is that you always take something weird and creative that other games don't think of, such as the vertical momentum and movement Flinthook employs. You're going on diagonals, and it's crazy, because most games it's like, oh, you could jump up a platform, you could go walk left, right. It's very like a Metroidvania kind of thing. But Flinthook, you traverse the sky.
Yes, you as we say in French, you cut air, you chop and dice it. What we did is that our previous game, Mercenary Kings, which is right over there, the characters were more squat and sluggish because they carry a lot of gear into battle. So we wanted to make a game that was still a platformer, but maybe with a smaller character that could really zip around, and that would be fun to look at and for when you're playing, and also for streaming. Like, that's something we do, so hopefully people who stream it, it looks good. It looks really hard, but it's also easy to master. So these are the things we were talking about, like making a fun game about movement.
Yeah, so we were talking about this earlier. This isn't your first PAX East by any means.
No.
So what other PAXs have you been to, and what's your experience been like setting up a booth and judging whether or not it's costly or it's right point in the development of the game to show it?
First PAX, it's my first PAX with 4 days, which that one is getting to be a bit grueling, but otherwise it's going very well. It's hard to gauge what we'll do from now on because the pop culture game news cycle is so fast that you don't know if you want to preview a new game like maybe 1 year in advance. Like a couple years ago you did, but now we're wondering, like, should we just come to PAX when the game is out already, like Flinthook is on Switch and Mercenary Kings is on Switch? Or should we only come like maybe when it's next month or something? Or it's something we'll think about in the future, because the indie game scene has been flooded, and there's never been that many games coming out. So it's something we're thinking about in relation to our convention schedules.
Now, this is personally something that I like to call the Netflix conundrum.
Yeah.
Do you go in advance and set expectations, or are you just going to go, hey, the entire thing is out, go play it now?
Well, it's sort of what we did for the two games that have been out for a long time, but for the Switch portals, we did not really announce them. We were saying, oh, maybe it's coming, blah, 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 blah. And we pretty much almost dropped them immediately. And that makes for a nice buzz and a nice surprise.
Now, we were talking earlier about how long Flinthook's dev cycle was, and games take a really long time to make. This isn't ready to show yet. How many more years do you think it would be on your next project?
A few people worked on the next project on their own, so they've been at it a while. I don't know when we'll be ready to show it, because the thing is, Tribute, it's like we never learn from our mistakes. We almost do a different genre every time we make a game. So you have to build a lot of new tools, and that makes it that it takes a long time to show a new game or get it done perfectly or get it done better. So we're confident in showing it in a convention setting or just on the internet. There's also, now that we're getting on consoles more, it's how to make the architecture of the game being more easily portable from a console. So all of these are factors into making these tools and using these tools to finish a game.
That's very commendable. And speaking of commendable things, I'd like to know, as another indie dev myself, how much time do you guys dedicate outside of work into your personal life? Do you dip in and you just feel you have to keep working on this game? How much do you actually dedicate from your personal time that you feel might go even to an unhealthy amount? Because personally, I never stop.
We're all old farts who worked in bigger commercial companies before. Like when we were younger, in our 20s, like I feel like we all learned there's a threshold you cross with overtime that
You pace yourself.
that doesn't work anymore. So for the most part, I would say that there's not that many overtime. We know our strengths and we know how much we are working on stuff. It's still very important, personal for us, but I would say that the company stays clear of huge crunches and unhealthy crunch time and stuff like that. Like because we've learned our lesson from our youth.
That's the best time to learn. And always make sure to drink plenty of water and take time for yourself. Your personal life will always improve your games.
Exactly. And it's, again, at a certain point, there's just no return on the effort if you're always on it, if it's too much on it.
Now, one last thing I want to talk about. How many developers are there at your studio?
Right now, we're 10. We're 10 people, 3 programmers, 2 game designers, 2 artists, and you have stragglers like myself who do the writing and social media stuff and coordinating all the resources, stuff like that.
So you heard it here, there's 10 amazing people working passionately on some new indie games that are hella fun. Let me tell you something, if you don't know what Flinthook is, I don't know who you are. You've been living under a rock. It's one of the best indie games that came out in the last year. And get it now on Nintendo Switch.
Please do. It's great.
Please do.
A whole lot of fun. It's great for commute. The grinding elements of the game make it are really pleasant, or more pleasant on a portable platform. And I think the Switch screen is very flattering to pixel games, to pixel art.
100%.
Yeah, so it's a good way to pick up that game. If not, if we have it on PS4, Steam, and Xbox Live, Xbox One. Jeez.
All right, well, thanks again so much for talking to me.
It's my pleasure.
It's been fun discussing indie games on the PAX East show floor.
Thanks.
Is it offensive if I say au revoir?
No, it's not. It's not at all. Au revoir.
Au revoir.